setting up the forms. I got the forms set, and I'm just kind of setting grade. So I had Leif go through here and write on the top of the form what the distance was, holding the tape and working one of those old school transits that you look through the scope. So this is 56 and 7/16, and down there was 58 and 1/16 at that corner. So it's 1.5 inches or so different. So I'm just gonna, there you go. I bring this down, make this number go up. So I'm just gonna dig it out with my hammer a little bit here. I get underneath the form. This cutting spreader box, 15 inches. So let's let this piece you're cutting. So if you can let this piece just drop, then you won't get your saw in a bind. Perfect. So there's 4. You got like 36 to go.
Tape? There should be green duct tape in there somewhere.
Tape for what?
I don't know, I didn't ask.
I got tape on the back tailgate of the truck, I think, Leif.
Should I push this in because it's out farther than the end of the 15 inches?
No, the 12 inches is what matters. Okay. Leif wasn't absolutely perfect on all his cuts, so. Okay. I went through and measured some of them. Some of them were like 15 and 1/8, some of them were 14 and 7/8, but it's good enough. So we're ready for mud. I reinforced these corners a little. I did a boot bend, and I don't like the distance from the actual corner to the rebar, so I went ahead and tied some extra pieces for a 90 there. I probably should have done that initially. About a half hour away from getting mud, and I think we're ready. We're gonna have to wheelbarrow like that section there, I guess. So I'm ready for that too. You know, I cut the rebar with a little grinder, you know, and when I cut rebar with a grinder with those thin blades, I try not to cut all the way through it, because you know, that last part of the cut's usually what chews the blades up and send pieces flying in your face. So anyways, yeah, we're looking good here, I think. Nice rebar job, I feel. I'm pleased with it. I've done a lot of this, so I got these spreaders here, and they also help to hang the rebar. I like the rebar up higher than halfway, just so the top of it's closer to the slab, or to the top of the rebar is closer to the top of the concrete. I try to keep a few inches below, you know, is all. And then I had some extra rebar, so I dropped some pieces in the bottom. I'll lift them up as I'm pouring mud on the very outside edge. So I didn't do a 2-inch over my dimensions like you generally do. So that would have been 24'4" by 32'4". I did exactly 24 by 32. So the reason that is when my waterproofing material that I put on here goes down, it's going to go right over my treated wall and where my plate meets the top of the footing. And then I'll insulate that, and then I'll put a piece of insulation at an angle coming down and fill all that in with rock. So no frost or water will be able to get in here when I'm done. And I've been doing these this way for quite a while, and I haven't had any problems yet, so I'm confident this is all going to work out. And I just did a standard 12-inch by 12-inch footing. I'm not doing a 10 by 16 or whatever they're calling for different numbers now. We did these 12-inch by 12-inch footings for years, and all the houses that we did them on are fine. So I have a little hump in the board. It's just a crown right here. So I'll probably just trowel it lower.
Cool, huh? Looks yummy. Kind of looks like cottage cheese. Like,
so if we can stop it somehow.
Okay. We can hit that. Don't paddle it that way. Probably stick a couple in the wheelbarrow. Stick it back in the water.
I think that's enough to do that area.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll run this out. Yep, we'll run this out, run this straight across here, and then I'll back up and run that right back there. You're hitting it.
Can you film, Mom? Can you film? 2-minute clip.
I'll take care of it with a trowel. I'll just pour it in less. Fine. But it's good on that one side, it's not on the other. So I'm setting the J-bolts. The main idea with the J-bolts is to not have a bolt sticking up where you're going to have a stud. So I'm going to build a little pony wall on top of this footing. So I don't want my J-bolts on a layout where the studs are going to go. So I went through and marked out in between the 16-inch centers is how I do it. And then mark the trowel at 2 3/4, half of 5 1/2. And then I just hold it on there and make a little thing. Stab it in there. And try to smooth it out a little bit. So there's our footing. Come out pretty good. I still got a few more J-bolts to put in, but and it's still kind of wet. So I'll go through and finish putting the center row of J-bolts there. A few more to stick in the back, and then I'll go back through and try to trowel it a little bit. It's just a footing. It's all going to be covered, but I still want it to be kind of smooth and flat. That's the extra mud. So I did the takeoff, and I've done a lot of concrete takeoffs, so I know how much mud it takes to fill this. And the guy that I bought the mud from, you know, I don't know, he decided to put more than I needed. I wanted 5 1/2 yards, and he put 6 on. And at 5 1/2 yards, I was almost a little over a 1/4 yard extra. So I got, you know, half a yard extra or whatever, but no biggie. I'll flatten that out, smooth it out, and then I think I'll stick my pressure tank and, you know, any kind of plumbing stuff. I don't know what kind of hot water heater I'm going to use yet. Maybe if I get an electric one, it'll go there, or I'll get a wall mount on-demand propane one. I'm not sure yet, but so yeah, we're moving right along. Day after tomorrow, the lumber gets here, and we'll start building the house. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.